All right. Hello, everyone. Let's get this started. Hopefully, my voice is not working. I don't know. We'll figure it out. And it's recording. So today we are going to just continue the file that we worked on last session. And we started last session. Let me pull it up. All right. So if you go to Canvas, okay, so starting after this or now on, okay. I thought this is better. Just make sure that you have everything we go over every session. So I've made it public. My repository is public for these like files. Every time we create a new project, I will give you the link. So whenever if you miss or if you want to like pull it up, you can like pull it from GitHub and always see what is the current state of the project that we are working on for your session. So I have like a file git clone, like a clone guide. You can see how you can clone the project I'm working on. One line of code, git clone and this link, and that's you can clone the project simply. One line in terminal, git clone, and then put the link next to it. All right. So we're gonna go over it this file. All right. So let me actually go over a few things. See what we did last session. Okay. All right. And then where's my file? Node file. Okay. So my node files. All right. Oh, by the way, so if you want to like try it, you can actually like for this later, if you have like you want to try this, you can see that like you can go through all the assignment, all the practice through this like the one that we're working on through this AI tutor. Like if you have any questions or anything, you can do it. It gives you a recap. It gives you a lot of other backup questions to ask. It's a cool thing. All right. So here we have started like from creating the file, identifying that like, hey, every time we create a project, what are the files we create with the project? What are the files? Tell me. .git ignore. What is .git ignore for? So it ignores some files to be pushed to GitHub. So we have specified in git ignore to not to push them into GitHub. So we have specified some files. What is the other file? .env. Why do we use .env file? What's that? To store the secrets. Store the secrets. You don't want to publish the secrets, so you push them, place them here, and then in git ignore you specify that these shouldn't be pushed, or this file shouldn't be pushed to GitHub. You store your API keys, you store your database, username, passwords, whatever that like basically like you don't want others to see. Okay, so for example, I have a new features that like you're not seeing on the website because I've set a key and I've stored this key somewhere here, and it checks that key if it is true or false. It's like a flag. I have like a whole flags that it specifies through the app. So if you have those sort of things that like applies to whole like the whole system, sometimes it's good to store it here, but no one sees them, and you don't want anyone to see that. Okay. And then git ignore, we talk about we moved through this node, right? We created them. We said that if you see a bash, it just means that you need to run this code into the terminal. We check like git init, okay, git add to a stage, git commit with the node, and then git push to GitHub. We start with the variables, okay. We talked about the variables, okay. We talk about the variables here. We said if you have some variables or basically some things that like you want to be a static, over the period of the project, define them with a variable that is like everything is a capital case. That way, like you always remember and also remind the app that this is kind of a constant variable. You don't want to change it over time, okay? It's a good reminder for you, for the app. It's not something that like forces the app to do anything. It's just kind of a, let's say, an agreement type thing, okay? And then the variables. You don't want to like use capital case when you're naming or like you're using a name for a variable, whether it's a variable, whether it's a list, whether it's a dictionary, okay? Name of them should be with the lower cases. All right, so we define them, we use them. What was the FS string we talked about? FS string is just adding an F before a string. Why? Because if you add that F before a string, before like a string is just anything inside the double quotation. It's just a string. If you add an F before it, what happens is that you can insert a variable into it. So I added F and then inside title and then inserted a variable. How do I insert it? Inside the curly brackets. You add the curly brackets and inside that you type that variable's name, whether it's a list name, whether it's a variable, whether it's a dictionary, you're looking for a specific part of dictionary. So you can use F a string or just adding an F before a string. So variables are basics. That's when you store one piece of data inside a variable and use it as a reference. Then you might work with multiple variables that you say, okay, I need a list. I have a list of variables. So we start using list, okay? This is very important. Most people like get confused and like over time make this mistake. So remind yourself, for a list, what do we use? We use a square bracket. A square bracket for the list, okay? So this might sound basic, but most of us can get confused and at some point make a mistake. So for a list, we use the square brackets, right? And inside the square bracket, like you specify like each variable or like each member of that list and then separate it with a comma, okay? So this titles, we have 3 titles and the titles are here. Then we said, okay, here's the problem. I talked about variables. Our project is about assignment management. We are building a course assignment management module throughout the next few sessions. And like since we started until we finished, we are going to completely build a complete course management module, hopefully by the end of this few weeks of like working, right? It's an important module of like any educational platform. You create and manage the assignments. So one assignment has some features like assignment title, assignment description, due date, publish. So here we had 4 variables. Now we said, okay, what if I have multiple assignments? Then I need to store them inside lists. So one list for title, one list for assignment, one list for assignment description, one list for due date. What is the problem here? You're storing data about one assignment into 4 different lists. And that's going to be a huge problem when you want to manage it, to figure out, okay, I'm looking for that assignment. Let me find inside that list where that assignment is located, and then go through the other list to figure out what is the due date for that assignment. The data is spread out. We don't want that to happen. We want everything about one thing. Our things are clear. Okay, you work with data entities, right? You call them things in the business domain. What are the things in the business domain? Things here are, one of them is the assignment. We want to store the assignment, that thing, in one place. All the attributes of an assignment. Title, description, due date. That's why we need dictionaries. Okay, that's why we need the dictionaries. So, what's a dictionary? Dictionary gives you a way to define everything in one place with key values set up. Key and value. On the left side, key, and then colon, on the right side, value. And every like key is basically one attribute, one feature of that thing that you're recording. Assignment. Every key is one feature of an assignment. Assignment title, assignment description, assignment due date, additional files. Is it available, not available, published, not published? These are characteristics of an assignment. So key, value. Key is on the left side, and then colon, and then value. Okay. So now, again, what is the way that we specify a dictionary? So this is one you want to pay attention to. Dictionary is with the curly brackets. List is with the square brackets. That could become a little bit tricky, and like you can see an error, you don't want to like you see an error and see you can't figure out. Always check with that. Two things you want to check. First, did I correctly specify that? What do you think that? Did I correctly specify like a starting and endpoint? Two, did I store it in a variable? All this dictionary has to be stored in a variable. In this case, this is the assignment. If you don't store it somewhere, how do you reference it? So you're storing it. Three, there is separated with a colon, okay, with columns, key and value, okay? So every key is separated. You can see that. And then also every line or every key value is separated with a comma. Right here, you can see that. All right. So let's actually start from here. Let me just catch up my files. All right. So yes, we kind of like stop here. Now let's actually like print out a few things, right? All right. I want to like see. I want to like print out a title of an assignment. When you're working with the dictionary, a common error happens often that we attempt to access a key in the dictionary that doesn't exist. That's when you get key error. So you attempt to access a key that actually doesn't exist. It could happen. That's why a common approach is that first check whether the key exists and then access it. Meaning that first, check if that key, let's say the key is title. I want to see if the title in assignment, if that key is in the assignment. Okay, that's how you stop yourself from like getting an error. If that's the key, okay, if the key exists in the assignment, then print, let's use a string here, right? Oh, okay, before I forget, I see a lot, like some of you might forget. Here, do you see this like a sign, completed thing? Just please make sure to like click on it and make sure that like everything is like unchecked. This is like if you have the Copilot, it's gonna keep just giving you like some codes to enter it. Make sure that all of them are unchecked, so it shows you that line on the.
Why is that important in channels?
So it doesn't recommend or like try to change your code.
Oh.
Okay, so here we want to code only ourselves. We don't want the Copilot to like make changes to our code. Okay, so make sure that is unchecked. All right, sorry, it's just suddenly I remembered to again remind you that. So make sure that is like everything here is unchecked. All right, so I wish I knew how to hide this thing that it doesn't show up. F double quotation title. Okay. And then curly brackets. Right, I'm using f string. In the string, I can add the like curly brackets, and then type assignment, and then a square, and then title. All right. So one thing, I tried double quotation, it worked for me, but I realized like when someone had an issue. So try both of them. If you see an error, so it could work only with one. Okay, one of these or double quotation inside the like dictionary. So if that's what it is, you can run it and it shows us the title of the assignment. Okay, so the title of the assignment. I can also try again with double quotation. Okay. Again, mine is working, but I saw like someone had this issue, so I want to like reference that if you see that, maybe like the double quotation is not working. So make sure to try it again. All right. So that's how you can access to a value of a key inside a dictionary. You see a lot of like curlies and like a square bracket, and it will become a little bit confusing over time, right? Like up here you use curly, and then here you use curly, and then to access that key value you use the square. So kind of like it needs a little bit of like repeating these steps. So kind of like it becomes a little bit clear and like a straightforward, like when to use which one of these in the coding process. All right. Okay. So how do I add a new key? Let's say my dictionary is already been defined and I come up with a new key. Okay. A lot of times you come up with new features that you want to add. Okay. Hey, I was creating like the assignment module and I created this. Later I figured out that I want to allow assignments to be generated by AI. Then I wanted to record it into the database with the assignment to say whether it is generated by the AI or not, just a flat. Is AI generated or not? So how do I add that key into the assignments key? Features of assignment. Very simple. Just type this, the name of the dictionary, and then inside the like a square bracket, I'm gonna type, let's say, is published. Okay, I'm adding a new key, right? It didn't exist in the dictionary. By just typing that, and then assigning a record to it, it's gonna just create that key and add it to the list of the keys into that dictionary. It's published, false. Oh, we already had this published. My fault. I didn't see that. Okay, so we had this published. Let's assign it, like, let's say additional files. Additional files. And I'm gonna add this, okay? Additional files, basics of database. Okay. I thought we didn't have this published. If you just type is published, it's already one of the keys. You're just updating the value of that key, right? But we wanted to add a new key to that like dictionary, so we type the name of the key here. Again, I can type this and say assignment. So let me add this here as a comment. All right. So add a new key to the dict. And now I'm gonna add is published as true. This one updates the value of a key. Okay. So if already exists and you like try to like change the value, you're just updating the value of that key, right? Inside the dictionary. If that key doesn't exist and you try to store a value to it, it adds to the list of the keys. All right. Let's do that practice we did before, that every time we ended kind of a part, what we do, we're gonna commit it and push it to GitHub to kind of keep track of the progress we're making, right? So I'm gonna use git status to check the status of my project. One file has been changed. Okay, let me stage it. Git add dot to a stage. Git commit m -m
And okay, review, let's say review dictionary, right? Review dictionary. All right, be committed and then push, hit push. Hit push. All right, so do we have only one assignment? We cannot have only one assignment. Generally, probably like you will have multiple assignments. So now what do? We had one assignment equal one dictionary. Multiple assignments, a list of dictionaries, right? List is about like a storing multiple things. We learned about it. We learned that list allows us to store multiple things. Whether it's just one variable or it's list of dictionaries. This is about storing multiple things. So first, we learn how to store one assignment using a dictionary. Now that we have multiple assignments, we need a way to store multiple assignments, meaning we need a list of dictionaries. Okay, so let's create a new file. Okay, 04, 04. We're gonna call it database list of dict.py. All right. Why did I call it database? Because this is how you're gonna pull this like data from database and store it in the application. Database stores kind of like a list of dictionaries. You pull the data from database and load it up into app into list of dictionaries. Finally, we're there to see exactly how we get the data and start using that data. Okay. So list of dictionaries. Again, first, I need a name for the list. So I'm going to call this course data. A list of dictionaries. All right, a list of dictionaries. What do we use for list? Square, right? A square. That's for the list. Square. All right. So now, inside the list, every member is not just one variable, it's a dictionary. It's a dictionary. Here, in the list, each one of them is a variable, is one title. But now it becomes a dictionary. Okay, so we need to put it inside curly brackets. All right. So how's the dictionary? Key values, right? So what is the key? Let's start now assigning. We are dealing with data. We are dealing with unique assignments. Every assignment has a unique ID. So let's start with that ID. Okay, I'm going to assign, like, let's say homework 1. It's the ID. Add a comma. Title. Homework 1. Okay, intro to database. All right. Title. What do we have else? We had this description. Description. All right. Learning basics. Due date. All right, 2026, 01, 26. And then score. Score. Score 100. So what is the whole dictionary? One assignment. Now let's add another assignment. Okay, we are in the list. Add a comma. And then again, let's add another dictionary or another assignment. Once we move forward, we're just going to call them with the actual things that they are. I'm not going to call them anymore dictionary. I'm adding a new assignment. Adding a new assignment. Okay. So what is the assignment ID? Assignment ID as homework 2. Title is homework 2. ER, what was that? Okay, normalization description. Descriptions. Learning and normalize. Due dates. Right. So now we have list of dictionaries or list of assignments, and that's our course data. Every one of them is a dictionary. So before, that was the difference. You see, we are moving. I wanted to show you that order, how we started from variables, and then list of variables, then a dictionary, then dictionary, list of dictionaries, right? So we start from here. Every variable, for one assignment, we had 4 variables. Then we move to the list. We didn't create other lists, but we needed multiple lists to store each one like feature of an assignment. Then we said it's not good. Let's create a dictionary to store everything in one place. This is great. Now think about a much like a real case when we have multiple assignments. So how do we store it? We need a list of dictionary. We need a list to store the data about every assignment. All right. So if this is a list, and later I want to add a new assignment. How do I add a new assignment to the course data? How do I add a new assignment to the course data? What's that function? Remember, append, right? Course data dot append, right? And then inside the parentheses, all right? So you can use that to add a new assignment. Again, inside the curly brackets, new assignment, ID, homework 3, title, case study, description, comprehensive analysis of DB. Comprehensive analysis of DB, due date 2026 02 10, and then score. Oh, right. So all right. Okay. Now you can see the whole picture. So we created list of assignments and we added a new assignment. Assignments. Everything after this is going to be a dictionary, and everything that we add to the list is going to be a list of dictionaries. We're not gonna store different things in different places, right? So Why did I call it database? Because each one of these keys are actually the columns of the assignment table in the database. In the database, you have a table called assignment. These are the columns of that database table. ID is the course, is the assignment ID, assignment title, assignment description. You're pulling the data from database and loading it up here. So for every column, you have a key. You match the keys and store the value in that key, or one assignment at a time. One assignment at a time. So if you have other like tables, a student table, course table. So each one of them a list of courses, a list of students, or one student. If you're pulling one student data, you have one dictionary. If you're pulling list of students, you have list of dictionaries or list of students. All right. So just as a practice at the end, right? Let's do this printing. All right. Again, I'm going to use FS string to say, okay, assignment. All right, assignment. Assignments. Assignments. All right, course data. Assignments. I don't want to like just try everything. Let's just print out every assignment. Okay, assignment. So what we'll do, it will print out the whole list of assignments that we have. And just the information here. Okay. What if you're looking for assignment titles? You want to only see the assignment titles? Okay, assignment. Oh, assignment. We can do it later. Never mind. I don't want to mix up. We're going to learn about the for search through the list, and then we can actually access that. Okay. All right. Can we move on? I think we can move on from this, and then we will create a new file for loop. I want to do that in one place. Okay. All right. That's the dictionary. Yes. All right. So first, let's commit this and then extend this with the loops. Okay. So let's do this. Hit the status. Git add. Git commit. Okay. List of dictionaries. Also database. Okay, list of dictionaries. And then git push. All right. Let me see where we are in this list. Modeling thing. We talked about this. List of dictionaries. All right. I'm gonna reorganize this. So after this, like first we cover loop and then we can talk about the other ones. So let's go over the loop. Okay. I'm gonna add a new one. All right. 0, 5 loop. All right. What's the name of that file? Okay, loop. Loop in list. Okay, .py. Can we do one thing? let's go back to that file so we don't have to type it again. All right. So copy this part, paste it here. Right. So in the loop in the list, copy that part. So we have the same kind of like structure here, and then work on the list or search. All right. So now you want to actually see, okay? So you have like you work with databases. You want to search through a table. Like I'm looking for a specific customer. Select a star if you're looking for everything from customer where customer ID is equal to specific thing, or customer name is equal to I'm looking for this person, right? So you have these three things and you're looking for. What is that select from and then where? It's a loop, right? It loops through the customer table, is looking for a customer that their identity matches what you're looking for. One at a time, checks every record in the table to find out. So that's how we actually iterate through a list, okay, with for. So we say that was like select this from where customer. It needs to check every one of the records. Here we want to say for each assignment in the course data, then let's say I'm looking for a specific assignment, right? So I'm going to check every assignment in the course data to find out or to find out a specific assignment. So here, let's just like, I'm going to add this here and then in and then here. Okay, I want to show you what it is look like. Here, first is what? You're saying you're looping in what? That's where you specify the list that you want to iterate in. In this case, we are iterating through course data. Okay. You're iterating through course data. That's where you specify the name of the list. And then before in, it's just the name of the variable. You want to say every item in course data. What is every item in course data? It's an assignment. Just rename it as an assignment. If it's like, let's say in that list, every item is a one day, like days of the month. You say for each for day in month or like that list, right? So just think about the items in that list and see what they mean. Okay. This could be anything. It's just a variable that like is going to be used to be iterate, like for iteration. But if you choose a good name, it kind of makes it more meaningful. That's why I say I'm going to use assignment for assignment in course data and then add a column here. So inherently, what that means is for each assignment in course data. For each assignment in course data, now you specify what you're looking for. Are you looking for a specific thing, like a specific assignment? Are you looking for an update on a specific assignment data? Are you looking for to find out where this assignment is stored? You see, there are so many other things that we can do with this, like at this point. But that's the thing here, right? So for assignment in course data, all right. Now, let's say I want to print out the assignment title. In that case, I will just say print assignment. Oh, do you remember what I told you about the if you're looking for a specific key in a dictionary? What's that? It said if you're looking for a key in the dictionary, to make sure, yes. You want to check the key, right? That's what we said, kind of like check if the key exists before trying to access it. That makes sure that you don't make an error, right? Let me go back to the dictionary. Do you remember this part? I said if you want to print out the assignment title or just access that key value in that like dictionary, check if that key actually exists in that dictionary. That stops you from making some other like errors or like showing you an error. You might access a key that doesn't exist. So if title in assignment, right? Title in assignment, then print, right? If title, God, I don't like this. All right, assignment, and then title. All right. 1 or 2. Okay. So first we check if the key exists in the dictionary, in that specific dictionary, and then print it out, or just any task, whatever we were doing here. Here, you're just like printing it out. It's okay. You could have like you were trying to update a value. You would do that. But checking that key is a good practice. That's it. So we can see like for each one of them, it goes through every assignment. But I also want to like actually talk about what is happening here. Okay, what is happening here? So I have a list. This is how this like behind the scene is working, right? So I have a list. Think of it this way, okay? This is like each assignment, each dictionary is stored in one of these. And then I also have a variable or like something like here. I'm going to call it item in the list or assignment. Okay. So this loop works like this. First, iteration. First of all, for is about iteration, iterating through a list, going over and over again. So in every iteration, it takes one of these and says, hey, assignment, you're equal to that specific assignment. Now, what you do is that you're that, what is your title? Every iteration this happened. So first, this assignment, we store it in that one specific dictionary, and then we can access it. In the next iteration, this happens. We say, okay, assignment, you are now the assignment. Okay. In the next iteration, we say, okay, assignment is equal to this. So basically, you want in every iteration, you want to store the data of an assignment temporarily. It is temporary. Everything here is temporary. So we say the only thing, course data always carries the course data, but assignment is a temporary data because we want to store one of these items one at a time and try to access that data. It's a temporary thing. That makes sense? Right? So you want to like one at a time. There are multiple items in that list. You can access it one at a time. That's what it means. One at a time, take one of these and store it in an assignment. Now, what is it? It's a dictionary. It's one assignment. You have one assignment to study. So then you can update it, you can change it, whatever you want to do with it, right? But we can talk about the updates and everything later. But the idea is this. So you're iterating through the list and one at a time, store it in that temporary value, like variable, and then it's starting to check the value in that variable. All right. So that's about iterating through a list. Let me see if we have, all right. Now, one more iteration. This is like, these are the two tasks that you're going to do every time, many times. So a lot of times you're going to have to know what is the exact location of an assignment or of an item in a list, exact location. Is it the second assignment, right? Exact location means like, hey, this list, all right, is like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. I want to know assignment with the title homework to normalization is stored where in the list. How do I find it? Exact location, the index. How do I find it? That's when we have two options to how to figure out where it is stored in the list. Okay. So let's find it out. One very common approach, very simple approach is that, hey, we need a counter. First, I'm gonna create a new variable counter. Its value starts from 0, counter 0. Okay. Now, again, for assignment, okay, in course data, okay, if title in assignment, and now I want to say if assignment, what assignment? Assignment title is equal, right? So when you're checking equality, you're using double equals for equality, checking equality, right? Checking equality. Now, inside quotation, we want to look for a specific assignment. I'm going to use this one. I'm going to copy the exact thing so if you don't make a mistake here. So this was the name of the assignment or title of the assignment. It's not the best way, but still just keeping the practice. All right, add a colon. Make sure to add a colon. All right, so let's say I'm starting from the list, okay? And my assignment, that a specific assignment, okay, is stored here. Stored here. All right. I'm looking for the assignment, it's stored here. I start from the beginning of the assignments. Okay, so I check this one. Is it there? No. So I have to move on through the list, take another step. I need something that keeps exactly the location of where we are right now. That's why we created counter. We said counter, we start from here, counter is 0. I'm going to check the list. Is the assignment here? No. I'm going to move to the next one to check it. If you're moving next, you have to add 1 to the counter. So you moved on. So now counter is 1. So is assignment here? No. If you're going to move on, first add 1 to the counter. Now counter is 2. Is this assignment? No. Add 1 to the counter. Is this assignment? Yes. So what is the counter? Is 3. And exactly that 3. So now we have the index number. We can use the value that is stored in counter to exactly tell people, hey, this specific assignment is stored in the 3rd place or like 4th place actually, because it starts from 0. That makes sense. So we use the counter to keep track as long as we move through the list to find that out. That's why I'm gonna say, if that's the case, print, right? Print index, okay, and then counter, and then outside if, but inside for, I add this counter plus equal 1. Or basically it means counter is equal to counter plus 1. All right, so let's review. From a starting point, counter is 0. In the first loop, I check the title and see if the title is this. Is that the same homework? No. So first I need to run this, add 1 to the counter value, and then go to check the next assignment. This way, every time I'm moving the counter with me, because at the end of the search, I want to know if I found that specific assignment. And a better practice is that if I found that assignment, it's better that I break out. It is better, it is good to break out because I found it and the search is over. If you're looking for one specific thing, once you found it, the search is over. So you want to break the loop. You don't want to continue searching for something that you already found. Okay. So a few key things, I don't know how much you're familiar with them. Break. You have to, like, if you have a loop and you're looking for a search, like you have a search, you're looking for a specific thing. Once you found it, there is no need to continue that search. If you have 10,000 records and you found the customer recorded in the 10th row, why are you continuing the search again? Just end that search. You found it, right? That's why you have the break. If this if is not true, then you have to continue count and then like go on through the list. Any question? All right, let's quickly finish this. Again, git add dot git commit iteration in list, then git push. Right. So I named the commit as a iteration. I will post the attendance. All right, course. Minutes. All right, if you wanted to change your seat, now you can do it. You can go to the seat. If at some point you decided to change to a different seat, you can do that. Now it looks better. I made some changes to it. It should every second it should update. Like once you take the attendance, it should update that session. See, okay. So let's see how it works. Should probably update every 3-5 seconds. So it might take some time because you record it and then it pulls up the record. So it takes some time to get the current data. Any question? Yes.
Have you checked your seating?
You can go to your seating on the left panel in sidebar. Check your sidebar, seating management.
Okay, classrooms.
Okay. Thank you. I'll see you on Friday. We will complete this module.
I don't know if I should be worried, but I'm able to run and get number 5. I don't know why. Sure. It's number 5. I was kind of confident in the class. I'm not able to run it in a list instead of a.
Like the assignment, it's a course, right? So we said, you have to have that, you have to look at this one.
Just I have a meeting with my faculty.
Oh, okay,
I was told, let's go by.
You have a minute? I can check it. You have a minute? I can check it. I want to leave the class just in case like everyone.
It is in person?
But check with your faculty.